The NPP were lucky in 2016 with lies. They would have been perhaps lucky in 2020. They will not be lucky this time around. If there is any politician who has headlined and championed promises that don't make sense, ridiculous, deceptive, and senseless promises, it is Bawumia. Okay. He is the one, and I'll conclude with this in 30 seconds. He is the one, Doc, who said that we don't have to borrow for rules.
Yes.
He is the one who said that in 18 months of an NPP government, no community will have a water or toilet problem. He is the one who promised every constituency $1 million every year. He is the one who promised Zongos $50 million every year. 16 model schools for Zongos. He is the one, a complete scammer. No integrity, no credibility. He has no basis.
Sammy,
a trickster. If you don't like the word scammer, a liar. Let me use the word liar. Liar. He is a pathological liar. Bereft of ideas, bereft of credibility, bereft of integrity. He has no basis whatsoever to question John Maham's capacity or credibility when it comes to the 24-hour economy. Because John Mahama has already done it before and he can do it again.
My name is PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, see them yopo.
It's very obvious that Alhaji Bawumia and our MPP friends are completely dazed by the 24-hour economy policy announced by the visionary nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. They are worried by the traction the policy has received in recent time. They are worried by the wide acceptability of the policy. And that is why they are desperately jumping over themselves to discredit a policy they have no clue whatsoever about. You see, Doc, it is the French poet Victor Hugo who said that nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. This is the time for Ghana to have a 24-hour economy. That policy has come to stay. And no amount of lies, no amount of deceptive arguments can succeed in hoodwinking Ghanaians to reject this novelty. You see, because they are in a hurry, they are in an indecent haste to criticize this policy, they are contradicting themselves. And you pointed that out. Because in one breath, Alhaji Bawumia says that the 24-hour economy announced by John Mahama is not new. It is already being implemented. In another breath, this same Bawumia says that the policy is a bad idea. In fact, in one of the tapes, he said that the policy doesn't make sense. So question, why is the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government implementing a policy that doesn't make sense? A policy that is a bad idea?
He didn't say they are implementing. He didn't say they are implementing.
No, he says that currently we have a 24-hour economy.
Yeah,
and in fact,
he didn't say they created it, and he didn't say it's a 24-hour economy.
No, if you listen to Dr. Bawumia and all their communicators, I was on Asempa with Kofi Tonto. They are clear that already we have a 24-hour economy. They've even said that that is why you can pay your taxes 24 hours. And that Dr. Bawumia, through digitalization, has made that possible. And today, GRA runs 24/7. And so they are already implementing 24-hour economy. They've said that. And I'm saying that in one breath, you say the policy doesn't make sense. In another breath, you say you're already implementing it. Look, even in the 2024 budget statement, they made an attempt to appropriate this policy, to steal this policy. And what did they do? The finance minister said, created an impression that they were already doing something about a ninth economy. That's how he termed it. And that currently they have established a task force made up of public and private actors, okay, to put in place a ninth economy under a PPP arrangement, public-private partnership arrangement. If I can specifically quote what he said. He said, As we promote December in Ghana initiatives, we will also work towards enhancing security and the lighting infrastructure. A task force comprising public regulators and private sector actors has already been established to drive the Ninth Economy Initiative under a public-private partnership arrangement. Yet they say this policy, captured in their own budget, doesn't make sense. Because the stealing has gone bad. They've been caught pants down. Ghanaians know that this 24-hour economy, the fact that we can have businesses and companies operating 3 shifts 24/7, working in the night, is a brainchild of John Mahama. Right on this platform today, Richard Ahiagba has said, when we were discussing the licensure exam matter, he said that there is no good or bad policy. Didn't he say that? And that it depends on the outcome. So, going by his own words, the 24-hour economy has not been implemented. You concede that you don't even know the details of the plan for the policy. Yet you say it doesn't make sense.
But shouldn't you be providing us the details?
So we are getting there. But first of all, we need to show that they are not interested in knowing any details. They are just having sleepless nights about the traction and the goodwill the policy is enjoying. And therefore, as opponents to President Mahama, they must say anything and everything to discredit it. What is this 24-hour economy about? Very, very simple. No country develops by running a 1 shift, a 8-hour shift working system. You go to all the advanced countries, there are multiple shifts to ensure productivity and to propel economic growth. We wake up very late in this country, report to work at 8 a.m., sometimes even start work after 9. We go for break by 12 or 1. By 5, we have closed. And we expect to develop as a country. So President Mahama says, we need to come up with innovative ideas that can support and encourage companies and businesses to run multiple shifts and operate 24/7. By doing so, they will be more productive, they will be more efficient, they will be more, competitive, and they will be able to create more jobs for the team on.
But there must be demand. I own a factory.
Yes.
I own a factory.
Yes.
I have a certain demand. And therefore, if I run a 1 shift, I'm able to meet that demand. Why will I decide to add another shift when I will produce and there's no demand for it? Why will I do that?
So the reason why you produce and there will not be any demand for it is because you are not competitive. The cost of your operation is very high. And so it wouldn't make sense for you to have another shift at that high cost unless government intervenes with a deliberate policy that makes the cost of doing business in the night attractive and competitive for you. You understand? And so President Mahama is saying, hold on, let me finish
against imports.
So hold on.
Cheap imports.
Hold on. Let me just use the example you cited as a factory. Already, the demand for Ghana to industrialize already exists. It exists in abundance. Because more than 95% of the things we consume today in Ghana are imported. So the demand is there because we consume it. But we are not able to produce to consume. We rather import. That is what places unbearable pressure on our cedi and causes the cedi to depreciate against its trading, currencies. And so, President Mahama is saying that under the next NDC Mahama government, we are going to modernize and mechanize agriculture. For example, if you go to the Bono region, most of them are involved in cashew farming. He says the next NDC government will establish a cashew marketing board. What that cashew marketing board will do will be to support cashew farmers. I'm just using this to illustrate the point to you. With the seedlings, the weedicides, and the other inputs they require to boost production so that they are able to produce more. And he says that when you produce more, you are not just going to export everything in its raw state like we currently do. we export cashew to India in its raw state. No. What we are going to do is that we are going to set up strategic factories, agro-processing factories, that will process the cashew into juice and other things, add value to it for us to export.
This is not a new conversation.
Hold on. I'll show you the new aspect of this.
Yeah, this is not a new conversation.
In fact, this is why we established the EXIM Bank, the Ghana Import and Export Bank, to support exports and to ensure that as a country we increase our forex earnings. So as these, farmers are producing more to feed factories so that we can add value, process and all that before we export, the demand is already there. So what is President Mahama going to do to ensure that these factories will not run an 8-hour shift alone, but will run 24 hours? He says, number one, I will give you relatively cheaper power.
How?
By introducing what is called the time of use tariff. The time of use tariff is the electricity price you pay depending on the day and the time you're using that power. It exists in advanced countries. So smart meters will be installed for all these commercial entities, all these factories, all these manufacturers, and they will be calibrated based on a SCADA system which will say that if you operate off-peak hours, in Ghana, our off-peak hours are the hours between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You're operating in the night between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The meter reading, the price you will pay per kilowatt hour of electricity you consume is going to be lesser than what you pay for during the day. So businesses will now be motivated to operate multiple shifts. They will now be motivated to operate in the night because I may be paying 100 Ghana cedis per kilowatt of hour of electricity I consume during the day when I operate normally. But in the night, government is giving me an incentive in a form of a time of use electricity tariff, which will make the price I will pay not 100 cedis but 20 cedis. That is an incentive. That's number one.
Would I not rather stop producing during the day?
No,
and produce
because it is a policy. It's a policy that is well tailored. You only benefit if you are running 24/7, and so you cannot beat the system. Right. That is cured. You understand? Again, President Mahama says that under the 24-hour economy, you are not only going to get cheaper power, you are going to get a tax incentive because you are doing a public good. You are running 24/7. You are employing more people, and so the taxes you pay on your operations as a company, as a business, as an industry, as a factory, will be far lower than what you pay during the day. So then it will make sense for businesses to want to operate in the night, because operating in the night will be cheaper. It will make them efficient, productive, and competitive. Number three, President Mahama says, apart from the tax incentives, I am also going to give you that secured and safe environment you require to be able to operate effectively. Because security is key in any 24-hour economy. Then even for some businesses, President Mahama is saying that you'll be giving financing support. Because for this country to be transformed, for us to see true transformation that creates sustainable, decent paying jobs, look, you need to take a deliberate policy decision to support certain strategic industries. Go to Akomadan and look at the tomato we produce there, which just goes bad because we don't have factories situated there to process the tomato. Go to all across the country, go to the north and look at how the share we produce there go waste. We started some of these things under the NDC Mahama administration. We couldn't finish. Immediately we set up the EXIM Bank, we left office, and today they are giving the EXIM Bank to the likes of Chamawun, to me, and musicians and all that. When it was meant to support production, value addition, and once you are doing that, you are meeting demand. If government puts in place incentives to allow you to operate 24/7, you will operate 24/7. And as we speak today, the reason why this is a novelty is that, look, we do not have any incentive, any package for companies and businesses that operate in the night. We don't have any incentive to promote businesses that operate in the night. So all the things I've spoken about, time of use tariff. It is new. It's a novelty. It's John Mahamed's idea. Incentives for businesses to operate in the night. It is new. It is not already being done. It is new. The fact that some are already operating in the night doesn't mean that there are incentives and there are programs calculated to encourage and support them to be able to do that.
When are we going to get the policy?
Hold on.
The full policy on this?
Hold on, Doc.
Yes.
Apart from the manufacturing sector,
yes.
Doc, President Mahama has spoken about the construction sector.
Okay.
He said that we always have problems with the completion dates, delay of government projects and so on. And so for companies that have the construction companies that have the capacity to operate even in the night, why can't government give them tax breaks for their night operations to speed up the completion of such projects? Richard was talking about public institutions. We've spoken about, for example, our ports. Before President Mahama became president, our ports were opening at 8 a.m. and closing at 5. In fact, today it is still the case at Takrady. But as a result of the visionary nation builders policy to expand Tema Port and build what today we call the NPS Port Terminal. Today, the NPS Port Terminal runs 24/7. You can clear your goods round the clock. 24/7. That is a typical example of the 24-hour economy we are talking about. That is state institution. But you go to the same Tema Port, Gapoa is all running 24/7. Why can't we get Gapoa to run 24/7 at Tema and in Takrady? President Mahama built Ghana Gas. It is running 24/7. President Mahama built the Accra Digital Center, which is today the biggest BPO point in Ghana. When we talk about business processing outsourcing center, where young people, well versed in IT, can work for various companies across the globe at within different time zones. From one point in Ghana, you can be working for a company in Japan or China or in US it has the capacity to take over 10,000 to 20,000 young people working. President Mahama built that. That's what we are talking about here. We spoke about passport office. Look, today, even though under the NDC Mahama government, under the leadership of Anatete, we digitalize the passport application process, for example. And you can today sit in the confines of your home and right on your phone apply for a passport. Sometimes it takes you 2 to 3 weeks to get a passport. Why? Because those who are supposed to work on the processing of the application come to work at 8, close at 5. Why can't they work round the clock to process more applications and ensure productivity and ensure citizens get better services from the state, ensure that the state gets more revenue? Why can't we do that? These are all public institutions. Yet our friends in the NPP say they have not heard us or President Mahama talk about all these things. They have a listening problem.
They are not convinced about
No, they say they've not heard us speak about these things. They have a listening problem. They've not heard President Mahama talking about cleaning companies collecting rubbish in the night, like it happens in advanced countries, where they go to, where they send their children to go to school. They have not heard that. Look, the 24-hour economy is a product of deep innovative thinking. It is not for lazy minds who only care about lying and scamming people for votes, like Bawumia, to understand. Neither is it for comical minds who are only experts in economic mismanagement to understand. It's for discerning minds to understand. And that is why all discerning minds are embracing the policy. You, Richard Anyagba, here, you are attacking the Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, who says that this policy is a game changer. Do you know more about employment than the Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress? Only yesterday, the Federation of Labor, because of time I would have read the statement to you, came out with a statement that they accept the 24-hour economy. Federation of Labor. The Chamber for Local Governance, they've issued a statement accordingly. Even chiefs are applauding the policy. And you are cheapening the discourse, reducing it to chop bars operating in the night. Let's ask some commonsensical questions.
We have to go.
Oh no, Doc, he spoke a lot.
We have to go.
Don't say that because he's run away.
No,
but Doc, at least let me conclude. Yes. I'm coming. He spoke a lot.
No, we have to go. So,
if you, like you rightly pointed out, if you go to Sydney today,
yes,
they are implementing a 24-hour economy. If you go to London today, they are implementing a 24-hour economy. Now, why is it that London didn't say that to operate a 24-hour economy is by choice? If you think you can make money in the night, operate. Why didn't they say that? Alhaji Bawumia. You see, the poverty of thinking they display is nauseating. Why didn't the governor, the authorities of London and Sydney, which is one of the largest cities in Australia, why didn't they say that hotels and restaurants are already operating 24/7. So we don't need any policy for a 24-hour economy. Why didn't they say that? Why has London introduced a night tube? A night tube, which is supposed to drive their night economy. The night tube is an underground transportation system for London's night economy on Fridays and Saturdays in certain areas. Why did they do that? Why didn't they say that you can't legislate it? Anybody who wants to make money in the night, who thinks they can make money in the night, can operate. So we don't need any policy. You see, these guys are bankrupt in ideas. They don't understand what we are talking about. And that is why after Dr. Bawumia spoke and spoke and spoke, he couldn't state one idea that he has for the young people of this country.
He says he's coming up with
He's coming. He's not coming with a policy.
Yeah, they should wait for
Look,
it. Yes.
He stood on a platform and said, under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the economy will grow and grow and grow, and there will be jobs and jobs and jobs. Today, where are the jobs? Unemployment is rather on the ascendancy, having increased from 8.4% under John Mahama to 14%. Whether it is NABCO, one district, one factory, and all that, everything has failed. In any case, I wanted you to ask Richard. You were using digitalization as an example. They say their policy for job creation, one of the policies was 1D, 1F. Did they legislate it? Did they legislate it that if you are, because part of the policy was that existing factories could take advantage of 1D, 1F. And that is how they captured Casapreco and the rest.
There was a policy.
Exactly. So did they legislate it? Okay. So it's like saying that you wanted to do 1D, 1F, help businesses, including those already existing, to get cheaper credit. You are not going to legislate it, so it is not a good policy, it's a bad idea. They said they were doing planting for food and jobs for farmers. Did they legislate it? Okay. That every farmer must join.
All right.
You see, they are just making a mockery of themselves.
Thank you.
No, let me just conclude. What I would just say is that the NPP were lucky in 2016 with lies. They would have been perhaps lucky in 2020. They will not be lucky this time around. If there is any politician who has headlined and championed promises that don't make sense, ridiculous, deceptive, and senseless promises, it is Bawumia. Okay. He is the one, and I'll conclude with this in 30 seconds. He is the one, who said that we don't have to borrow for roads.
Yes.
He is the one who said that in 18 months of an NPP government, no community will have a water or toilet problem. He is the one who promised every constituency $1 million every year. He is the one who promised Zongos $50 million every year. 16 model schools for Zongos. He is the one, a complete scammer. No integrity, no credibility. Sammy, he has no basis.
Sammy,
a trickster. If you don't like the word scammer, a liar. Let me use the word liar. Liar. Yeah. He is a pathological liar. Yeah. Bereft of ideas, bereft of credibility, bereft of integrity. Right. He has no basis whatsoever to question John Mahama's capacity or credibility when it comes to the 24-hour economy. Right. Because John Mahama has already done it before, and he can do it again.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.